doing this video because the sound on the other one was rather low, and although the bokeh was delicious, courtesy of that f1.4 lens, but I'm shooting with a Olympus 17mm f2.8, so hopefully the background is nice and blurred out. It's still anyway. So anyway, I'm shooting this with the Panasonic Lumix DMC-GF3. Very nice little pocket camera, and I believe still available from places like Staples for about $230 with the kit lens, which is 14 to 42mm. Due to the size of the sensor, it's a 2x crop, so that 14 to 42 is actually more along the lines of a 28 to 84mm, as if the focal length were being done on a traditional full-frame 35mm, which is what that Canon FD lens was from. But again, I'm shooting with the f2.8 Olympus at the moment. I'm using a lovely 160 LED portable light that I got off of Amazon very cheaply. It's very nice. Probably pick up one or two more, and highly recommend getting the Sony or Panasonic batteries instead of using AA's with it, although it will use AA's, but it uses 8 of them at a time, and it eats them like candy. Whereas the camera batteries, when you use them, last fairly long time. I'm also using a couple of fluorescents on the left to help add some more light. So hopefully this is nice and bright, unlike the other video. I noticed that the lens is hunting every once in a while because I tend to move in towards the camera, and then I move back, and it's bugging out the focus. But that's okay. That's the beauty of autofocus. Anyway, this camera works wonderfully. The way it comes from Panasonic, the 1080p video, or 1080 video, I think it's 1080i from the factory, is at 18 megabits per second, which is still fairly clean video, but the colors seem to be a bit off. But then there's hacks for it, which will let you use a much higher bit rate. I think the current hack that I have on this one is shooting this video at 1080p at 150 megabits per second. So it adds the ability to do progressive scan video plus much higher bitrate. To put this into perspective, the Blackmagic Cinema camera, which costs about $1,000 just for the body, and does not have autofocus ability nor the ability to shoot stills, and that shoots at 228 megabits per second, which hopefully would mean that it's much more impressive video, but I haven't had a chance to get my hands on one of those to actually put it head to head. But for an inexpensive pocket camera, I don't think you can go wrong with the Lumix GF3, especially if you hack it. And doing the hack is fairly painless. I would love to get my hands on a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema if anyone in Brooklyn here wants to loan me one for a day to do some side-by-side shooting, but whatever. And all in all, I find this a very nice camera. I actually am a big fan now of the Micro Four Thirds format. They're so much smaller, lighter. You can do much higher frame rates than all but the higher end DSLRs. I think this little pocket GF3 does 4 frames a second, and my Nikon DSLR doesn't do 4 frames a second. So it's actually a big improvement. although it also ends up with quite a few pictures that you just throw out. But in action shots, you tend to get that one that you wanted. So all in all, it's a pretty nice camera. As long as you keep feed it plenty of light, you keep the ISO below about 800, it's pretty clean. The stills and the video. I like this camera more for video, but it does take very nice stills as well. And they have quite a few different lenses for it. And unless you go for the really fast primes, they're fairly reasonably priced. So, all in all, very happy with this. I also have a Olympus EPM1. Nice camera for stills. Not so happy with the video, but again, I couldn't figure out any hacks for it. So, if there was the ability to hack it, it probably would improve things greatly. But I'm getting rid of that PM1. So, that's it for now. Have a great night. Bye for now. Onagiwahi.